JHM! I am super excited to be with you today because we are talking about a very important topic. We will be talking about llamas and what kind you want to be, kind you don't want to be. Well, oftentimes when I talk to junior high students, one of the biggest complaints they have is that there is too much drama. Drama at school, drama at home. How many of you feel like you go to school where there is a lot of drama? By show of hands. Is drama a problem at school? Yes. There is drama everywhere in life. In school, I think, especially in junior high, it is really tough. Drama is everywhere. There are lots of kinds of drama. There's friend drama. If you're kind of into like boys and girls, you're going to be boyfriend-girlfriend drama. There's parent drama, sibling drama, teacher drama, drama between other adults in your life. There is a lot of drama. And so today we want to talk about being no drama llamas, okay? I got this mug that I totally love. We have a lot of mugs at our house, but my favorite one is this mug because on the outside there are llamas, but when you sip it, you are reminded you want to be a no drama llama. And the reason that this conversation is really important is a lot of us have a lot of anxiety because of the drama around us and sometimes the drama in us. And there are actually some really practical things that you can do to be a no drama llama. You can't stop drama in your life, it just happens. Even we adults have drama, it just looks a little different. But we can control how drama impacts us and our response to it. And so today we're going to talk about drama being a little bit like a forest fire. I don't know if you guys were following some of the wildfires out in California a while back. Did you guys watch or hear about that on the news or in school or anything like that? Yeah. So what happened is it gets really dry in places like California. This actually happened out in Hawaii a while back too. But the land gets really dry and it only takes a spark to get that fire going. And then once a wildfire is going, then it spreads and spreads and spreads. It doesn't take a lot to spread. All it takes is that fire attaches to one little dry thing. And before long, it not only is in the forest, it can actually come into a city and destroy houses. It can destroy communities. And I would say that drama is like a wildfire. It is really hard to control. But wouldn't it be cool if you were living in an area where there was a lot of fire, if you could put like a cone of protection around your home, around the things that are really safe or really important to you, that you could keep those things safe? Well, the fact of the matter is you can't control people or their drama, but you can control your response to it. So today, I'm going to invite you, if you would, to write some things down. Because if you want to live a life that has less drama, and you don't want drama to impact you, if you wish you were a little less anxious, or you wish the drama around you at school would cool down a little bit, or maybe the drama at home would cool down a little bit, I'm going to try to teach us some practical tools, give you some practical tools for making sure that drama doesn't, like a wildfire, spread into your life, that you have some control over how you respond to it. So you can't control people or their drama, but you can control your response. So today we're talking about your response to drama. And I would love for us to talk first about what God's Word says about this. Did you know that God's Word is so wise? It gives everyday practical advice for our everyday lives. And a verse that I love comes from Hebrews chapter 12, verses 14 through 15 says this: work at living in peace with everyone, and work at living a holy life, for those who are not holy will not see the Lord. Look after each other so that none of you fails to receive the grace of God. Watch out that no poisonous root of bitterness grows up to trouble you, corrupting many. So one of the things I notice about this verse is it says, work at living in peace with everyone. Are you supposed to work at living in peace with some people? No, you're supposed to work at living in peace with everyone, which is really hard when sometimes people are not kind or rude, or they make poor choices, or people who maybe just make dumb decisions. That is really difficult. It would be easier to live at peace with everyone if everyone just did what we wanted them to do. If everyone was just wise, or if everyone just treated us the way that we wanted to be treated. But the fact of the matter is, that's not the case. And so it's actually going to take some work. The other thing I notice is it says, work at living at peace with everyone. I think when I was a kid, I used to think, well, maybe other families or other schools or other groups of friends, maybe they just have something that I don't because they seem more peaceful. But no, nobody lives in a perfect world. Nobody lives in a perfect school or has a perfect group of friends. There's going to be hard stuff. It's hard to live at peace. So we have to work at it. So we're going to talk about tools for working at living in peace with everyone. And one of the reasons it's important that we do that is because when we don't have peace with people, it can cause a lot of like frustration and hurt on the inside for us. And we can be really frustrated or have what the Bible calls a bitter root that starts to grow. When someone's been mean to you and you don't deal with it in the right way, when someone's hurt you and you don't deal with it in the right way, you can have a little bit of bitterness that creeps up and it causes a bitter root to grow in your life. And that not just impacts you, but impacts other people as well. So the main idea today is that you can't control people or their drama, but you can control your response to it. Now, I have a junior high student that lives in my home. Her name's Allie. You guys know Allie? Yes, I love Allie. She came to earlier service. Since Allie was a little girl, she has loved scaring me. She loves to jump out at me when I don't expect it, and like I squeal or like I make a really loud noise, it's high pitched, like I get really startled, and so like I respond in a really big way. I react in a really big way. So I have a bathroom, and my closet where I change my clothes is attached to the bathroom, but just outside my bathroom is my bedroom. And so sometimes if I'm getting ready in my bedroom at nighttime, the room that I come out to, my bedroom's dark, and she creeps behind a corner and she waits for me to come out, and she'll jump out at me, and I like have a really big reaction to it. It scares me, and I hate to be startled. Like I hate to be surprised like that, and she knows it. So sometimes she'll jump out like right when I walk out the door. Sometimes she'll let me take a few steps into the darkness and then jump out at me. But I am not at my best. Like my response is not good when I'm not expecting it, when I react to it. And there's actually a difference between a reaction and a response, okay? When you react when you're taken off guard and it's your impulsive reaction to something. But when I know that Allie's probably creeping out there waiting for me, I say to myself before I walk into the darkness, she's gonna startle me. I don't know when, but I know that she's out there. And so I prepare my mind and my heart. I kind of get kind of prepared as I walk out. And even though it might still take me a little bit off guard, I don't have that same big reaction because I'm prepared for it. Well, drama is a bit the same way. None of us like to be taken off guard. And sometimes when somebody says or does something that hurts us, it sneaks up on us. And so our first response is rarely our best response. But if I know ahead of time things like that are going to happen, and I have a game plan going in, when somebody hurts my feelings, this is what I'm going to do. When somebody irritates me or annoys me, this is what I'm going to do. Your response is going to be better. So what we're talking about today is controlling your response, which is predetermined, rather than just reacting to the drama around us. So we're going to try to get really good at handling drama. None of us are going to be perfect at it. It's a process, but we're going to try to get really good at it. So the term that a lot of adults use when they talk about how we have conversations that are healthy when we're upset, we call those crucial conversations. And I just want to make that term kind of known to you so that it becomes common language here at JHM. We want to get really good at having crucial conversations. When something doesn't go our way or we're hurt or we're frustrated, that we talk to the right person at the right time in the right way. That's a crucial conversation. So there are times when does a crucial conversation need to happen? Not every conversation in life, and we're just hanging out and having fun, that's not a crucial conversation. What is a crucial conversation? A crucial conversation happens when you and another person don't agree. Number one, we don't agree. Number two, there's something about what's going on here where our emotions are high. Like I feel emotional. I have a negative emotion attached to what's going on here. And number three, it's about something that matters to me or to you. So anytime there's an opportunity where you don't agree with someone, where one or both of you have a high emotional state, like you're upset or frustrated about something, and it matters to one or both of you, you need to have a crucial conversation. And these are skills that we can learn and practice, but crucial conversations are actually really hard. Sometimes I ask people, when I teach this to adults, I ask people, how many of you come from a family where you saw, or you right now, you're seeing crucial conversations modeled to you by the adults in your world, like your parents or grandparents, the adults that are in your life, that they're modeling to you how to have calm and meaningful and helpful and productive conversations where we don't just react and get real big and get defensive, but where we can talk really calmly with one another in a productive way when our emotions are high and we disagree. How many of you come from a family where you're seeing that right now modeled for you really well? Okay, maybe just a couple of you. Yeah, that's awesome. That is really a gift. Not everybody comes from a family that way. In fact, I would actually argue that most people have not seen that done. So one of the reasons crucial conversations are really hard is you guys are at a disadvantage. You're not seeing it lived out. Even people who are good at crucial conversations sometimes don't do it well. Like, I've studied this a lot, and sometimes I'm not the best at crucial conversations because I'm a human being. But crucial conversations are hard because most of us haven't seen it done well. Also, because your bodies work against you. When somebody's upset with you or you're upset with somebody, do you know that like knot you get in your stomach? Does your stomach ever feel like a little tight, or your body feels tight, or your mind's racing, or your heart's beating fast? Your body, when you're scared or you're frustrated, it works kind of against you, so it's hard to have a good conversation about it. Also, it's hard because we live in a culture of outrage. When somebody at school is mad, do they go have a calm, crucial conversation with someone? Not usually. What do? They yell, they fight. Somebody in the last service said they slapped someone. I was like, oh goodness, that's not probably really healthy. What else do we do? When we're frustrated with our friend, what do? We talk behind their back. We create drama. Drama is not talking to the right person at the right time in the right way. And we live in a culture where that's just expected. Like if I'm upset about something, I'm gonna tell everybody I know that I'm upset about it, rather than going to the right person. What you got, Lily? Oh, Lily brings up a good point. If I'm upset with someone, rather than working it out in a healthy way, I just cancel them. I unfriend them, I don't follow them anymore, I block them from my phone, I just cut them out of my, rather than working through it in a healthy way, I just block them out. You guys, that's actually not healthy. There are gonna be times when even the people that we love and are closest to are gonna disappoint us, are gonna frustrate us and hurt us. That doesn't mean something is wrong, that's normal. And part of the way that God grows us is by working through hard things with people in the right way. And so, right, what you're experiencing in junior high, one of the reasons that it's so painful and hard, and sometimes it's so dramatic, is because that's not the way that God designed it to be. He wants us to work at living with peace with everyone. So if you're uncomfortable and you don't really know how to have crucial conversations yet, that's okay. Even adults are working on that. Even I'm working on that. But we want to get better and better over time. So today we're going to talk about what you do when your friends hung out and they didn't invite you, and you feel left out or hurt. What do you do with that? Somebody maybe is bragging about a good grade and getting a better grade than you and hurting your feelings, or they did better at a sport than you and maybe they're talking about it's hurting your feelings, or they did better at the music competition than you, and you feel like they're hurting you on purpose with their bragging. What do you do with that? Or someone makes fun of your shoes or your hair or something about your body or what you say, or people are teasing you about something. What do you do with that? What about when your mom or dad makes an assumption about you? Maybe they're thinking you're lazy or disrespectful, but they don't fully understand everything that was happening, what's going on in your world, and you feel like maybe they're being unfair. What do you do about that? Or a teacher. Have you any of you ever been frustrated at a teacher? What are the reasons that sometimes we get frustrated with teachers? Because you get a bad grade? And you're mad at them because you think they were unfair? Oh, no, they're disappointed in you. That hurts your feelings? What you got? Oh, they embarrass you in the whole class. Like maybe they correct you in front of the whole class in a way that makes you feel embarrassed? Yeah. Somebody back here had something. What do teachers do?
If you feel like they're being rude to you in some way.
Ah, yeah, you feel like their behavior toward you isn't respectful or rude. That's really hard. Did you guys know that it's actually okay for you to have calm conversations with adults and to tell them how you feel and try to work toward a common understanding? Sometimes as kids you feel like you can't talk to adults, and you're absolutely right. You can't talk to them in a disrespectful way, but if you figure out the right time and you go directly to the teacher rather than everyone else, there are actually ways that you can work out some misunderstandings even with teachers, and that through conversation that you might improve a relationship with a teacher. What you got? Too much homework, where you feel like maybe they don't fully understand all the stuff in your world and they're giving you a little too much. We've got time for one more. Right here. Yeah. They hold you back from lunch? Oh no! Because of why? And they're holding you back and not letting your whole class go because you're talking or something? Is that why? Sometimes, yeah. And when we're frustrated with teachers, do any of us ever talk to the teacher about it? Not usually, not very common. And so we got to figure out when is the right time, what part is our responsibility, that maybe we did something wrong, so we're receiving a consequence, we just don't like it. But how often, maybe there's something we can work out with a teacher or a parent or an adult, and we just don't know how to talk with them about it. So that's what crucial conversations are, and I want to help you understand how you can build like a cone of protection around the forest fires of drama around you, okay? So crucial conversation tip number 1, when something goes wrong and we're frustrated, we want to work on me first. Number 1, work on me first. And the reason why is you're not going to be able to have a productive conversation and express your thoughts well to the right person at the right time in the right way when you just react. My first response is rarely my best response. When I get triggered or upset about something, the first thing I say that comes out of my mouth is usually not the best thing, right? So we want to try. Anybody ever said something or done something they wish they could take back? Yeah, that's going to happen when you immediately take action and start talking to people. That's normal. But what maturity is slowing that response down a little bit and taking some time to really think about how much of the problem is you and maybe something you did. What's going on inside of you? Why did that hurt so much, or why is that bothering you so much? We just want to slow down so that we respond rather than react. If I get a text or an email that really bugs me, it provokes an emotional response in me, my personal rule is I don't respond to it for 24 hours. And that's because General Colin Powell, who was a military general, he used to say everything looks better in the morning. Sometimes I don't feel as strongly once I slept on it. But usually what we do is that we take action right away. We do a bunch of things that we can't take back, or we say a bunch of things that we can't take back. So we want to slow down. We want to slow down the spread of the fire so that we're not impulsive. Also, we need to remember that part of working on me first is we have to name why is it that we're upset. Some people say we have to name it to tame it. It feels like a wildfire in us until we're able to give it a name. So if we're able to say to ourselves, well, the reason I'm so frustrated about this is because I felt left out, or because I'm lonely, or because I felt embarrassed because that teacher said something to me, or that really reminds me of another situation that happened to me when I was younger. If you can name what's going on inside of you and why it bothers you, you're going to have a much more productive, crucial conversation. So number 1, work on me first. Number 2, we want to avoid triangles. Now, this is going to be new to most of you, but this is like mind-blowing if you can understand it, okay? We want to avoid triangles. When a problem or a frustration or a conflict exists between 2 people, we're going to call them person A and person B. Every time there's a problem that is between 2 people and a third person gets involved, that's a triangle. And all triangles cause frustration and anxiety for all 3 people. So let me show you a diagram. We've got person A, and person A feels frustrated because person B did something to hurt their feelings. So here's person B. We're going to be very frustrated with person B. What is the right, healthy thing to happen here? If person A is frustrated with person B, what should they do? Yes, the right, healthy thing to do is for person A to talk to person B, because that frustration is between the 2 of them. But what happens a lot of times in junior high and even with adults? Rather than talking to person B, who does person A talk to? Another friend. And we're going to call that friend person C. Why does person A talk to person C?
Because they don't want to talk to person B because they don't know about it.
Yeah, they don't want to talk to person B, and they don't maybe know about crucial conversations, and it feels really good to get something off your chest, doesn't it? To go complain to someone. And what do we want person C to do? When we're frustrated and we're venting to them, what do we want them to do? Validate you. Validation is the word. That's just a big word to say. Validation means, I think you're right, and I'm frustrated on your behalf too. That it's okay for you to be upset, and I'm going to be upset alongside of you. And so the human soul, unfortunately, is kind of designed not to go to person B, but to go to person C. And that's where things get really tricky, because when you go to person C, what does person C usually do? Sometimes person C then goes to person B, and do they always tell the complete truth when they go to person B? No. They've got their own version of the story, which things that they heard, and then person B is now mad at person A for another reason, for gossiping about them, right? Sometimes person C also goes and finds more people who are C's. They go tell other friends, right? Everybody has someone that they tell. So before long, rather than the problem existing between person A and person B, we've involved person C, who's involved another C, who then tells two more C's, and now we have a sea of people who now know about the problem. The Bible actually has a word for that. What does the Bible call that? Any guesses?
Gossip.
Gossip! Yes! The Bible has a word, and it is gossip. And does God say that gossip is like a good thing for us, really healthy? No. The Bible actually calls that a sin. So we think that we're doing a good thing by getting some help and some validation by person C, but really, in reality, we're hurting person B in our relationship with person B by not going directly to them. And that's how wildfires of drama get started. And so what we want to do as believers, as followers of Jesus, is we kind of want to pre-commit that if I'm hurt or offended, that I'm going to go directly to the person who hurt or offended me. Because a lot of times, that person doesn't even know that they hurt our feelings. And if we talk about it, we can get it worked out without hurting anybody else. So we want to avoid triangles. Now, it is okay to be frustrated. But Ephesians chapter 4, verse 26 says this: in your anger, do not sin. And the reason the Bible says that, notice it doesn't say don't get angry, right? God gets angry sometimes. There are things that should frustrate us. When things hurt us, it's okay to be frustrated. But when you are hurt, when you are angry, when you are frustrated, don't gossip. Don't hurt someone else just because you are hurt, because that doesn't make the problem any better. Two wrongs don't make a right. All right, number 3, attempt to see from the other person's perspective. This is something in junior high that's really hard to do, because something happens to us and we think we know the reason why that person did that and we're frustrated by it. But the other person has a different perspective. And if you can ask yourself, why would a reasonable, rational person have done that? Why would they have done that? How might they see the situation differently than I do? Then you are going to best position yourself to have a healthy conversation with them if you can try to see from their perspective. All right, I need 2 quick volunteers.
Yeah.
All right, both of you, one of you go to that corner, the other come on down here to the front in front of these drums, okay? The lights are bright, so I can't always see who I'm looking at and talking to here. Who do I have back here? Audrey, okay. Audrey, if you walked into this room, Audrey, and I asked you to quickly name 3 things that you see in this room. You walked in that door, what are 3 things that you see?
Junior high kids. Junior high kids. The stage and the drum. The stage and some drums.
Junior high kids, the stage, and some drums. All right. Come on down here. Can you come in front of the drums? All right. What's your name?
Josie.
Josie. Josie walks in. Let's pretend she teleports in here, okay? She's seeing the room for this perspective. What are 3 things that you see, Josie?
Chairs, a lamp, and a TV.
A lamp and a TV. All right. So they are in the same room. But did you notice that they said that they saw 3 different things? From their perspective, what they see is different, right? She entered through a different door than you did. And the same thing is true of a problem. The person up there is going to see things. You're in the same space. The same thing happened right in front of you. But where you're standing causes you to see different things or notice different things. So can we give it up for our volunteers? Can we thank them for helping? All right, go on, see. One of the things you have to remember when you're trying to have a crucial conversation is that the other person may not see things the same way you do, not because they don't want to, but because their vantage point didn't allow them to see those things. They might not even know how you heard or experienced something or what you saw. So one of the gifts that you can give to other people is to try to see from the other person's perspective. All right, number 4, beware of the stories that you're telling yourself. There's a difference between facts and stories. Okay, facts are things that happen that are objective, which means if we had a video camera, the video camera would show everybody the same thing. They could be heard or seen on a video camera that had no audio, okay? So, or maybe with audio, that'd be fine too. Stories are what we tell ourselves about those facts. So if I walked in here 10 minutes late to service and I was supposed to teach today, the fact is that I walked into this room 10 minutes after I was supposed to teach today. Because if we had a camera, the camera would show I was 10 minutes late, right? And that the service had already started. Now, everybody could tell themselves a different story about why I was late. Somebody who maybe didn't like me or thought that I was a rude person, or maybe I had been late to a meeting with them before, they might say, Melissa is always late. Well, friends, am I always late every single time? No, but that's a word we use sometimes. That's a story I'm telling myself. Somebody might say, Melissa's just disrespectful and a little flighty and can't keep track of when she's supposed to be places. Well, that's about my motive and how I live. It's not a fact. The fact is I was 10 minutes late. But what if the reason I was 10 minutes late was because I just got a phone call from someone I loved who was in a car accident? Should I have taken that call? Yeah, probably. Or maybe something happened in my life that you don't know about, that's why I was 10 minutes late. And so the stories we tell ourselves about what we do and what other people do, those are different than facts. So if you're going to have a good, crucial conversation, if you're looking through your notes later, you know you need to have a conversation, if you can separate out, what do I consider to be the facts? Those are things that should be agreeable between both of us. And then what's my story about the facts? What story am I telling myself? And sometimes it's helpful if I'm having a crucial conversation with Charlie and I'm trying to assume the best in her. That's one of the things I want to do is assume the best in her until I've had a chance to talk about it with her. But I might say, hey, Charlie, I heard that you were out with our friends this week and you didn't invite me, and that made me really sad. And the story I'm telling myself is that you don't like me and you're trying to leave me out. Now, Charlie's a wonderful human being, so I know this isn't the case, right? But I'm just picking on Charlie because I know her. But I'm separating out I wasn't invited to that, right? The fact is I wasn't invited to that gathering, and that hurt my feelings. Those are facts. And it's okay for me to say the story I'm telling about those facts is that you don't like me and you don't want to invite me to things. And that gives her a chance to say, oh, Melissa, actually, I wasn't the person who organized this. It was somebody else's mom, and so I didn't get to determine who was invited. It wasn't up to me. I would never leave you out, right? And then we can work out what goes on between us. But I have to separate out the facts from the story I'm telling myself about the facts. And we are really good at telling ourselves stories about what happened. Have you noticed that? That we can tell stories pretty well? All right. I also want to encourage you to be very careful about the stories that you believe. When you have a good friend who comes to you and tells you that something happened, do you believe that everything they told you is 100% true? Sometimes when we have a good friend, we want to believe people, we want to trust them, but they have a perspective. And without the other person in the room, we don't know exactly what happened. So my friend Sarah here, Sarah and I go way back, like more than 20 years, right? And so if Sarah comes to me, I love Sarah, I trust Sarah, and if Sarah comes to me and she tells me that Dayton took something from her bag, and she's really mad at Dayton, and I say, oh, Sarah, Dayton is the worst, and I believe everything that Sarah told me. I have to be careful of that. Just because I know and love Sarah doesn't mean she has all the facts yet. So as a good friend, one of the things I can say is, Sarah, have you talked to Dayton about that? Because how do you know that he took the stuff out of your bag? Well, he was near my bag, and that Dayton, he's sneaky. Well, you should talk to him about that, is what I would say as a good friend. I shouldn't assume that Sarah has all the facts, because Sarah could have dropped something out of her bag. Someone else could have been near her bag. I wasn't there. But a lot of times, because I want to be a good friend to Sarah, I'll jump on her bandwagon. I'll believe everything she told me as fact. And then I'm mad at Dayton. Poor Dayton didn't do anything wrong, didn't even know why everybody's mad at him, right? And so we have to be careful. Don't believe. You can be a good friend and not believe everything that's told to you is the complete story. That person might not be lying to you. They may just not have all the facts yet. So we want to make sure that we are careful about the stories that we believe. Proverbs 18:17 talks about that. It says, he who tells his story first makes people think that he is right until the other comes to test him. So the first person to tell you the story about a fight is always going to seem kind of convincing. Their story is going to seem like it makes a lot of sense until Dayton gets to tell his side of the story, and then like, oh, there was more to the story. You should assume there's always more to the story. If somebody's telling you about someone, there is always more to the story. And so part of becoming a no drama mama is understanding that. Number 5, seek wisdom from a crucial conversation coach. Friends, it is really hard to have the wisdom to deal with every situation. It's hard for adults, but it's especially hard for you because you don't have a lot of experience doing this yet. And so I would encourage you to think about a wise person that you know, not 12 of them, but one of them, that is not a person C, but is a CCC. If we can go back to the diagram that has person A, B, and C, a person CCC is a crucial conversation coach. This is somebody you can go to and say, this is a problem I'm having and I know I need to have a crucial conversation. Can you talk with me about how to have that conversation well? Now notice, this is not a person C. I'm not trying to get this person on my side or to believe me or to spread gossip. This is somebody I'm going to for wisdom. And the reason I say you need 1 and not 12 is because we can kind of convince ourselves, well, I need to get lots of input from lots of people, but really what I'm trying to do is get people on my side, right? And so I would encourage you to think about one person. Maybe you already have one. And if you don't already have one, somebody here at JHM, like your small group leader, or somebody who serves in this ministry on Sunday mornings, might be able to serve as that for you. But everybody, even adults, I have a CCC. Everybody needs a CCC, a crucial conversation coach. Let me tell you the kind of person you're looking for. Number 1, do they have a lot of drama? Are they a drama person? Are they a drama llama? Do you want a drama llama giving you wisdom? No, you're not going to get better at having healthy relationships. You're not going to live with more drama if the person advising you has a lot of drama. So oftentimes this is going to be somebody who's more mature than you, oftentimes. Number 2, do they love Jesus and have your best interest in mind? And those two things go together, right? That Jesus is going to encourage us to live at peace with everyone and to try to work things out or to set healthy boundaries with everyone. And so we want somebody who's pointing us back to God's word, God's wisdom. And this person, if they know and love and follow Jesus, should care a lot about you and not be in competition with you or try to get something from you. It's somebody who's for you. They want the best for you. They have your best interest in mind. Number 3, are they known for having healthy relationships? Somebody who has lots of drama-filled relationships and doesn't have a history of healthy relationships probably isn't going to be able to teach you how to have healthy relationships or give you wisdom about that. I especially think this is important when you're looking for somebody who's a CCC. Do they have healthy relationships with authority figures in their lives? Like with their parents or with their teachers? Have they learned how to work things out with somebody who's in authority over them? That person typically makes a good CCC. Number 4, are they known for gossip? Do you want your CCC to be known for gossip? No, because then they're not a CCC, they're a person C. A crucial conversation coach is someone who is not going to tell other people about your problem unless they absolutely have to, unless they're obligated to. So the drama ends there. It's not going to spread to other people through that person. It's going to dead end there, and they're going to advise you to go have the conversation you need with the person you need to have it with. Number 5, do they have a track record of having effective, crucial conversations? And then number 6, are they willing to challenge you when you are wrong? A good crucial conversation coach is willing to look at you and to say, hey, I think maybe you might be part of the problem. Or hey, maybe this way that you handled it was hurtful to the other person. They're willing to not just listen to you and encourage you. They're willing to kind of call you out when maybe you played a role in what had happened too. So seek wisdom and find a crucial conversation coach. Number 6, work on your non-anxious presence. Now this is a term most of you have not heard before. Anxiety, have you noticed that anxiety spreads? I'm not talking about like clinical anxiety, like some of us need some help with some medicine or with maybe talking to a counselor about clinical anxiety. I'm just talking about frustration and things that make us anxious. Anxiety spreads from person to person. You know when somebody comes to you and they're really angry about something? How do you feel on the inside usually? If they're like upset about something and coming at you, how do you feel? Yeah, it kind of spreads to you. You feel a little icky, right? And sometimes we feel like we have to absorb the feelings of other people. Being a non-anxious presence is working on being calm and thoughtful and present with people without making their problem your problem. The big word for that is you have to be well differentiated. That means there's a difference between Sarah and me. Sarah might feel angry about something, but that doesn't mean I have to be angry about the same thing. I might be really nervous or anxious about something, but she can be my friend and not feel anxious. My anxiety doesn't spread to her. We want to work on being well differentiated, and this is hard sometimes when we really love people. Sometimes we need them to be okay in order for us to be okay, and so we have to work on you are you and I am me, and I can be your friend and listen to you without making your problem my problem, and that's being a non-anxious presence. We want to transform anxiety rather than transmit it. That means if Nola comes to me and she's frustrated about something, I can be a good listener to her and not spread all the things that she's upset about. Let it spread to me and then spread to other people. I can thoughtfully listen, and I can be a crucial conversation coach that pushes her back to the person she needs to talk to. But then I can walk away, and I don't have to be irritated the rest of the day. Have you ever been irritated on behalf of someone else?
Yeah.
Like the thing didn't really happen to you, but you heard it happen to someone, and that really bugged you? That's human nature. And so part of maturity is saying, that person is upset, but I don't have to be upset on their behalf. That's their thing to work through, and I can pray for them and encourage them and advise them, but I can go home and I don't have to carry that with me because God's carrying that. God cares about that person even more than you do. Number 7, we want to remember that only you can prevent drama. You're not going to be able to control other people's behaviors. You can only control your behaviors. So you have to decide to be a person who's going to be a no-drama llama. The forest fires of drama are going to kind of go around you, but they're not going to influence you, that you're not going to spread it. And I think that's really important. But one of the things that you can do as like groups of friends is to decide that we are not going to have people see in our group. If 2 people have a problem, we're going to turn them back to each other. We're not going to let them gossip to us. We're going to very kindly say, you need to go have that crucial conversation. We're not going to believe everything we hear. We're going to say, hey, there's probably more to the story, and we're going to assume the best of others, and we're going to turn them back to each other. We're going to have conversations sometimes that we need to have with parents or with teachers. And so we want to be people where the drama ends with us rather than gets stirred up by us, right? That's what it means to become more mature in Jesus and allow him to influence what we're doing. So I just want to encourage you. This is really hard stuff, but God wants to help you with it. And the better you get at this, the better you're going to feel, the more confident you're going to be, and actually the healthier your friend groups are going to be, the healthier your family's going to be. I actually came from a family where there was a lot of drama just in my family. And that was really hard, and so I had to learn some of these things. But you guys can do it. And as you grow up and mature, just know there are people who are praying for you and want to help you and can be crucial conversation coaches to you. But we want to be no drama llamas and encourage other people to do the same. So I'm going to pray for us, and then we'll move into communion, okay? God, it is really hard to be a junior high student, and we live in a world with a lot of drama. And managing these things is really hard for adults, let alone for junior high kids. But I just thank you that you are a God of peace, and you are a God of truth and clarity, that your Holy Spirit can guide us as we have these hard conversations. I just pray that the people in this room would feel loved by you and loved by others and equipped by you to be people who spread good things, not drama, but peace, that we would be peacemakers and work at living peace with everyone. So God, thanks for the opportunity to learn together today. It's in your son's name we pray. Amen.